Hello. I just came in a little bit earlier. Please say hello and tell me who is here. Hope you're having a blessed day. I had saved this document to my page, to my computer and all, and I figured this. I gotta mute that. Okay. I thought my phone was muted, but it's not. All right. Can you please say hello? Hello, everyone, and welcome. And be sure to hit this and remember in Luke 17, verse 2, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and he cast into the sea than that he should offend one of these little ones. And I want to make sure people know that under the fair use doctrine of the U.S. copyright statute, it's permissible to use limited portions of a work, including quotes, for purposes of commentary, criticism, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research purposes. So we're basically here today letting people know about this Project Safe Childhood. Oh, good to see you, Sherry. Cheryl, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Have y'all ever heard about Project Safe Childhood? Go to the banners right there. Have you ever heard of that? No. I'm glad that you're here, and you're quite welcome. I'll have to share my screen now so that y'all can see what. Okay. This is Project Safe Childhood. It's a unified and comprehensive strategy to combat child exploitation. Initiated in May 2006, Project Safe Childhood combines law enforcement, their efforts, community action, and public awareness. The goal of Project Safe Childhood is to reduce the incidence of sexual exploitation of children. There are five essential components to Project Safe Childhood: building partnerships, coordinating law enforcement, training PSC partners, public awareness, and accountability. So it goes on down to discussing the Department of Justice is committed to the safety and well-being of our children and has placed a high priority on protecting and combating. And it goes on further down and elaborates even more about this. And you can even go to hit this link that's at here, and I will provide y'all with a link so that y'all can even go to that website and download this yourself. Okay. Hello, Stacy. Good to see you. And that is the um, You can see it right there. It is National Strategy Child Exploitation Prevention and Interdiction. In a few minutes, the reason why I'm going back and forth to the video thing because I want to make sure I've got a video to share with y'all as well that I think is very important. And these predators, put in mind when I clicked on it, I'm here at the U.S. Department of Justice. So this is actually from their website. Okay. And so this, I want y'all to let me know whether or not y'all hear this or not. All right. Please let me know with a one or two if y'all could hear it. Okay. Can y'all hear this? You can't hear it? Okay. So let me change the setting here where I could go to settings here and audio.
Who are you? Hey, Zach. It's me. I can't stop thinking about you. I know you've been waiting for this for a while. I wanted to give you something special. Who are you? Why are you doing this?
So it'll be easier to. Y'all hear me okay? So what y'all think about that? What was your all take on that? She thought it was all innocent. She thought it was a boyfriend, and it's wasn't. It's one of them perpetrators, one of them predators. You're not safe just giving anything like that anywhere on the internet. Just imagine if how these predators even talk to our kids and say, "I want to meet you. I'm pulled up outside your house now." And they run off thinking that it was a teenager, and they make it as far as outside, and now they're kidnapped. She thinks she's going off with this guy of her dream that she got a really crush on. Instead, she's leaving with a grown man. That's not what she had hoped for. Hey, Kevin, glad you're here too. And see, that right there was called the sextortion public services announcement. Exactly. But our kids are really our prized possessions. Well, our prize. It's not like we own them, but we need to treat them to have respect for their bodies, that not to follow just the lead just because every other kid is doing it. You remember the tactics when we were going to school and stuff, and they're like, I dare you. If I did it, you can too." That's pretty scary, isn't it? And y'all, when I went even further down and I went into the press room, look what else I find down here. There's press releases. An Oregon man sentenced to over 34 years of federal prison for attempted coercion and enticement of a minor. Y'all, thank God they're putting more years to these people that's doing this. And that was attempted coercion and enticement of a minor. 34 years. They're usually been given a slap on the wrist. And then there's a resident doctor. And look at the dates here, y'all. There's March 14, 2023. Resident doctor arrested for possessing images and videos of child pornography. March 14th. He's a doctor, you all. Doctor. Lost. Whenever you take your kids to the doctor, please go in there with them, no matter what the doctor says. Like, no, I need to be alone with them. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go in there with them. Protect your child at all costs. Then there's a Las Vegas man sentenced to 3 years in prison for child sexual exploitation crimes. That's another one. See, and that's today. These are today's news. Then press releases. See, U.S. Attorney's Office charges 9 defendants with child exploitation offenses and ongoing program to prevent victimization of children. Y'all, we got to give them a clap. They deserve claps for doing this. But everybody thinks that that makes a big dent in it. That does not even put a little bit of a mark on it, not even a scratch on the big problem that it is. And then there's Springfield sex offender sentenced to 20 years for child pornography. All this was today's press releases, y'all. Look at all this. But it starts yesterday's right here with a Rowan County man sentenced 45 years for production and distribution of child sexual abuse material. As you all know, the ones that know me, know that my mother had sold me since I was 2 year old to men, and then later on, they had me in child pornography since I was 4 year old and up. And it was a state trooper who brought that to my attention, who was one of the perpetrators. It was his daddy, but he was still part of it. And then when his daddy died, I said, I hope you got rid of the tapes because I met him at a library and I didn't really think that it was true. I doubted my memories. And Yes, I'd rather instead of call it overprotected, I'd rather call it hyper vigilant. Being hyper vigilant over our kids because them predators, you never know. Sometimes they can be looking at even at our own windows and our whatever, outside our doors, inside of vehicles. No telling where these perpetrators are. Some of my classmates were pregnant by some of the school teachers. And when this talks about Project Safe Childhood, and I had talked about, and so when you go to click on it, it actually has. This is where I got the cover for on top of this. They get the credit for this, and I want to thank them for doing this. And then it says learn more about Project Safe Childhood. Oops, I don't want to copy that link. I just want to press on it. And so it goes on further down and talks about more about the education and one of the chief mandates of the Protect Act and the national strategy is to expand our efforts to coordinate and cooperate with federal, tribal, state, local, and international organizations and agencies in the fight to prevent and interdict in the sexual exploitation of children. Working closely with each other, we will pool our intelligence and resources to ensure that those offenders who seek to entice and compromise our children are brought to justice. Well, what do we do? A lot of times we even go to police officers to try to protect us today, and a lot of times it falls on deaf ears. What do we do then? Well, that's kind of hard, pro, you know, hard to decipher. But y'all see here where it says, I also clicked on it, says justice.gov, contact us. I'm going to copy and paste the link so that y'all can have a link to go to this web page, okay? So if y'all ever needed it, okay? Let me go back right here and I'll post the link here for y'all, okay? And it says messages to the Department of Justice, including the Attorney General, may be sent using this form. See, it's got contact us form right there. Your message will be forwarded to the responsible Department of Justice component for appropriate handling. I pray so. The other correspondence, which I gave y'all that link a few seconds ago, and it's got the mailing address here, and it also has the comment line where you can call in and you can be aggravated about the different stuff, and maybe even we say that we need this certain kind of thing to happen. We need y'all to really step up and make sure that this gets done. It's not getting done in our area, or no telling, whatever ideas you have, you could probably call up there because it's a comment right there. And there's the Department of Justice main switchboard. Department of Justice components may also be contacted directly. You find their information when you click on that link. And it said there's a website feedback, so I'm not going to click on that because I'm afraid of clicking on something like that. Media inquiries. So anybody that's doing news stories or anything that might want to know more information from this place as well. Inquiries for news organization and other medias may be directed to the Office of Public Affairs. I will click on it and look what here when I clicked on that link. Whoa, information for journalists, hours of operation, media inquiries, access to media events, and it goes, list goes on and on and on. ground rules for interviewing department officials, of course. They got these ground rules. Okay, it's got like on the record information may be quoted directly and attributed to the official by name and title. On background, the official's remarks may be quoted directly or paraphrased and are attributed to a Justice Department official or administration official. On deep background, the official cannot be quoted or identified in any manner, not even as a named source. The information is usually couched in such phrases as "it is understood that," "it has been learned." The information may be used in the reporting to help present or gain a better understanding on the subject. And of course, we all know what off the record is. All right, so when I went back and was learning more about this, I kind of I've got a fact sheet right here that I had downloaded here. All right. See if y'all can see this okay. Hopefully y'all can. Project Safe Childhood is a Department of Justice initiative launched in 2006 to combat the proliferation of technology facilitated crimes involving the sexual exploitation of children. The threat of sexual predators soliciting children for physical sexual contact is well known and serious. The danger of perpetrators who produce, distribute, and possess child pornography is equally dramatic and disturbing. Yes, it is. We know for a fact that is. There's often an international dimension to these crimes. For example, some offenders travel to victimize children outside of the U.S. or view live video streams in addition to recorded still and video images of children being abused in foreign countries. The department is committed to the safety and well being of every child and has placed a high priority on combating sexual exploitation of minors through a network of federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies and advocacy organizations. Project Safe Childhood attempts to protect children by investigating and prosecuting offenders involved in child sexual exploitation. The department expanded Project Safe Childhood in May 2011 to encompass all federal crimes. Well, it scrolled up a little bit. I'm sorry, you all. Guess it didn't want me to read it, but we're still going to do it, aren't we? Okay, let me start all over with that one. The department expanded Project Safe Childhood in May 2011 to encompass all federal crimes involving the sexual exploitation of a minor, including sex trafficking of a minor and crimes against children committed in Indian country. Failure to register as a sex offender offenses now also fall within the ambit of Project Safe Childhood. Project Safe Childhood is implemented through partnerships with numerous stakeholders, including U.S. Attorney's Offices and the Executive Office for U.S. Attorneys, the Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section of the Justice Department's Criminal Division, Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, federal law enforcement partners, including the FBI. See, there's your FBI there, Sherry, Carol. U.S. Postal Inspection Service, Homeland Security Investigations, U.S. Secret Service, and U.S. Marshal Service. Advocacy organizations such as the National Institute of Justice and state, local, tribal, and military law enforcement officials, which, of course, when we advocate as well, they're supposed to work with us to try to get to a resolution. And when it falls upon deaf ears, This lady right here gets angry. Okay, then there's enforcement and casework. Because of Project Safe Childhood, the number of federal prosecutions involving child sexual exploitation has increased significantly. These prosecutions have resulted from an increased number of international, federal, state, local, and tribal investigations. In the fiscal year of 2014, they had attained 3,248 indictments against 3,422 defendants for offenses involved in the sexual exploitation of minors. We go and we think that's a good amount of number, but no, that's not even a scratch on the surface. Really, seriously. Look how many people we think that. Look how many cases there are. Yeah, but yeah, that's cases. But how many are not even reported? There are a lot more cases that are not reported. No matter how much we even go to tell, a lot of times people just kind of sweep it under the rug and act like, oh, that didn't happen. You're crazy in your mind. Da da da. They want to blame you instead of get to the root of the problem and resolve it. These crimes have ranged from production of obscene visual depictions of minors engaged in sexually explicit conduct to receipt, distribution, possession, and or production of child pornography to the direct physical sexual abuse of a minor. And y'all, that puts me in mind. I have been enjoying watching this YouTube channel. It's called Grassroots Army. It's where parents are going to school boards and complaining because they are allowing and voting in sexual promiscuity books. They read aloud to the school board such sick things, like it says part her legs and liquor, and all that, and all the different stuff, and it gets very explicit, and it's rated adult. And the school board said, well, it's okay that 10th, 11th, 12th grade. No, it's not either because they're still not considered adult. Adult is an adult. Our other kids that's not even under at that age can still go to the library and read them. And these are at school libraries. I'm not talking about libraries that for the public to read, okay? I'm talking about school libraries, everyone. It's horrible. Since the launch of Project Safe Childhood, thousands of children depicted in child pornography have been identified through enhanced law enforcement coordination, multi jurisdictional collaborative efforts, and additional contributions by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I left the state, so they might have trouble finding me. Since the inception of Project Safe Childhood, CEOs, in partnership with the FBI, HSI, and the USPIS, has developed and coordinated many nationwide and international operations targeting the production, distribution, receipt, and possession of child images. For instance, between the fiscal years of 2013 and 2015, 14 nationwide operations were conducted, resulting in the investigation of over 2,600 individuals in the United States and generated leads against more than 8,000 foreign suspects. Many of these cases are prosecuted throughout the nation, often in conjunction with trial attorneys and additional resources from CEOs. Again, when I think about this, it still cringes me because recently there was a guy that was high up in Tennessee here in the DCS office, and I did a video on him, and he was one of the perpetrators um, who was busted in a sting operation. And to give a little rundown about his case, I don't know whether he followed teenager her to the business where she was at, but the DCS worker left a note on that teenager's car. The teenager, I am so proud of her because she went and took the note to her parents. So her parents then went to, I think it was Jackson, Tennessee Police Department, and then they set up a sting operation because, of course, like a crazy person, he left how to contact him on that letter. So he thought he was going to meet up with a teenager at a park, and so he got busted. He didn't stay in jail long. I don't think it's fair for them to have let somebody that done that out of jail. And y'all just think, a lot of our kids get into the vehicle with these DCS workers, and they might say, "Well, we need a one-on-one time and go talk to them about a problem. It's best you're not around." Da da da. A lot of different because DCS came and got me several times when I lived in Florida, and the lady drove me around. Luckily, she was a good one. That's horrible. So no matter how much we look at this, and then there was a case also in another part of Tennessee where one of the guys uh, was the daughter had accused him of messing with her. Hello, William. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. They had the daughter had accused him of messing with him, and he was with a big agency as well, nonprofit agency about this kind of thing happening, and he was also a news reporter in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, the boy was about old enough to like 18, and he was old enough where he could witness without any kind of problems. And the daddy met him up somewhere, I guess, because his daddy happened to be there when the accident occurred. He claimed that the vehicle ran over his son and dragged him across the thing and ran over him, and that's what killed him. But they said there's no pull marks with the vehicle. This guy is still not in jail for doing what he did, and it's probably that he even probably killed his son. It's here at YouTube as well. And the church he went to, and there was a senator and a judge that the judge had even said that um, the daughter cannot or the mother cannot go and try to prosecute the daddy until the teenager becomes basically the age of 18. How wrong is that? Which I heard the latest is the mama's got custody of the girl now, but the daddy is allowed to go into that school. Nobody, he has no kids in that school now, supposedly. He goes in a gymnasium where there's girls, doing sports in their shorts and all that stuff. He takes pictures of them and then he gets on social media and tries to meet up with them. And it's condoned, you all. That is condoned. School's supposed to be a place where our kids supposed to be safe and they supposed to protect our kids from these type of perpetrators. The school has also threatened them, all the parents, not to believe anything that these two kids were to say when they were telling their story. As part of Project Safe Childhood, the department has collaborated with international law enforcement partners to secure the arrest of child pornography producers and collectors around the world. In Operation Delago, for example, CEOs helped identify a global child pornography network and facilitated the arrest of offenders in 14 countries on 5 continents. Several major international law enforcement investigations, such as Operation Joint Hammer and Operation Nest Egg has successfully dismantled multiple international child pornography organizations. In doing so, the department has coordinated efforts with international law enforcement agencies such as Eurojust, the judicial cooperation arm of the European Union, to ensure that every available resource is put to use. These alliances also ensure that child pornography distributors, collectors, and producers around the world are identified, apprehended, and held accountable for their actions. Mine are dead. Oh, yeah. I don't know if y'all have seen what William is talking about. There's Criminal Minds Edition, Calling All Angels, and they have a video and a song out there dealing with this thing. In 2016, the department released a new national strategy for child exploitation prevention and interdiction, a roadmap to building on our successes and tackling new challenges during the next several years, formulated over the course of a year by an interagency working group. This strategy harnesses the expertise of law enforcement at all levels, as well as the experience and knowledge of non governmental stakeholders. It identifies innovative ways in which the federal government and its partners can address child exploitation, and it reaffirms our unwavering commitment to ensuring that all children in America, get little tongue tied, sorry, are able to reach their potential in a nation that protects them from violence and abuse. It'd be all well and good if a lot of these agencies would work together. It gives us a little hope, but don't give us enough hope because a lot more needs to be done, a lot more working together. I will stand firm and say, this all sounds high and good, but a lot of your people, sorry, there's part of the problem. A lot of them are the predators that hides behind these programs too. So some of them aren't going to get caught. It's scary. You don't know who to really trust. This follows on the department's original national strategy, which helped formalize key partnerships, streamlined prevention and prosecution efforts, and improved regional and interagency collaboration in order to maximize all available resources. Project Safe Childhood has also been highly effective in apprehended and convicted offenders who had traveled or attempted to travel across interstate or foreign borders with the intent to either sexually abuse minor or engage in other illicit conduct. Many defendants have held positions of public trust, ranging from an elementary school principal to a State Department affiliated special agent. Yeah, I seen in the news not too long ago where there was somebody that actually worked with the feds catching these kind of people, and he actually got caught in the sting operation himself. I couldn't help. I laughed. I was like, "Oh yeah, you got busted yourself, and you knew about this kind of thing going on about stings and trying to trap these people, and you got caught yourself trying to meet with a young girl." I laughed about it like, "Yeah, buddy, you got your due." Since the inception of its cyber tip line in 1998, NCMEC has processed more than 8.4 million reports, nearly half of those in 2015 related to incidents of child sexual exploitation, the majority of which relate to activities connected to child pornography and the internet. Since this cyber tip line was created, CMEC has seen, a dramatic increase in the number of reports received. Well, a lot of us, that have been violated, a lot of us have been violated by our own parents in our own homes. We have no safety to get to. Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. And it talks about the 98, the Justice Department's Office of Juvenile Justice and Juvenile Delinquency Prevention recognized the significant risk of technology facilitated child exploitation. In response, OJJDP developed the ICAC Task Force Program. The purpose of that is to help regional, state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies acquire the knowledge, equipment, and personnel resources they need to prevent, investigate, and stop sexual abuse, sex crimes, sorry, against minors. I'm laughing at my own stumbling over words. I'm not laughing about what's being said here because this is not a laughing matter. And I want y'all to know William is from Alabama as well. And he used to be in the police force in, was it Wisconsin, William? Yes, there's a lot that's happening down there also. Yeah, Wisconsin. There are 61 ICAC task forces across the country, each composed of federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. These task forces represent more than 3,500 federal, state, and local law enforcement and prosecutorial agencies. And it goes on to talk more about this, and then they go down here and they discuss the future. And I'm going to skip over that other part, and I want to talk about the ongoing challenges, which we all know about. Because the technological advances have encouraged child sexual exploitation offenders, especially those operating online, to an unprecedented degree. For every new technology that fills a need for law abiding citizens, online child sexual exploitation offenders will find a malicious use. Among the most daunting and prevalent is offender utilization of anonymization networks, including Tor and Freenet, to obscure their identities. Did y'all see that? Among the most daunting and prevalent is offender utilization of anonymization networks. That means you go in there anonymously so they get away with whatever they can. They obscure their identities. Because of the perceived anonymity, the most prolific and sophisticated offenders feel empowered to share enormous quantities of the most vile child exploitation images on a multitude of internet bulletin boards. That's what we call as the dark web. Yeah, but later on you work with Texas law enforcement, etc., whenever they needed your help at, because you did go and help out with some kid problems and all, right? Field test kits blue, orange, and green. Cheryl says hello. Cheryl Chandler. Many of the most dangerous child sexual exploitation offenders have increasingly migrated to organized group enterprises where they can collaborate with other like minded offenders to perpetrate their offenses. These group activities are disturbing because they serve to validate, normalize, and encourage sexual behaviors directed towards children that are widely condemned by society at large. These groups also assist in thwarting law enforcement by sharing encryption and, and I'm getting tongue tied here, y'all. I'm sorry. Anonymization practices for the best venues to place ads promoting commercial sexual abuse of minors. Even after child pornography producers are identified and convicted, the recordings still circulate online and elsewhere for the continued consumption by other like minded offenders. Therefore, the danger of the production, distribution, and possession of child pornography remains multifaceted and disturbing for victims all over the world. Project Safe Childhood relies upon the ongoing efforts and relationships between law enforcement agencies, nonprofit entities, including schools, advocacy organizations, and many others to protect and defend children against sexual exploitation and abuse. In order for Project Safe Childhood to continue to fulfill its mission, all partners will need to continue to work collaboratively to keep pace with those who seek to harm any child. You helped on missing persons and drug cases. You helped on doing that. Gerald William had known me for a lot of years. His family kind of um, like adopted me as a part of the family members. When William even an interesting fact about him that his in-laws used to live right down the road from Jeffrey. Was it Jeffrey Dahmer? Yes. I can't remember what all about the Joanna Rogers case, but is that the one where the guy had her in a suitcase and then had that other girl in a suitcase too? But they had found they had went to the dump, and that's where he was disposing of the bodies that he killed in suitcases at a dump. Matter of fact, I saw that in the movie, so that they actually portrayed that. And you knew Joanna Rogers personally, I believe. Oh, you did? Oh, you knew Summer, but couldn't work for that case because Summer was the second victim, right? You used to work for Department of Defense as a contractor. Yeah, you had known her. Wow, 13 years. Thank you both for everything that y'all done. And there is a darkness to light site as well. And it's an organization that speaks out about sexual abuse. I'm giving them the credit. If anybody wanted to, um, I think I'm going to go ahead at StreamYard and go back over here and put where y'all can see the video of where I'm referencing. I could put it on.
I feel I had to free myself from feeling guilty, feeling responsible, like I was dirty.
They don't realize that it's a psychological and emotional and spiritual battle that you through just to get to where you can manage getting through the day.
And that's what I feel that was taken from me, my virginity, my youth. You're never the same after that.
How could someone hurt me like this if I have any type of value? How could somebody do this to me and care about me in any way, shape, or form? I really must be nothing.
I felt like I didn't have any choices after that moment.
Could y'all hear that video a minute ago? What is DARPA, William? What is DARPA? Sharon, did y'all hear that video that I had a minute ago? Sorry. Couldn't hear the video a minute ago? Hmm. Let me try that again then. Um, See if y'all can hear it. I'm going to replay it, all right? I'm pausing it. Can y'all hear me though? Vietnam era. Well, I'm gonna try it again. Put a one if y'all can hear this. I'm fixing to start it. Okay. Can't hear it. StreamYard's not getting along with me right now. Okay, let's put it back over here.
I feel I had to free myself from feeling guilty, feeling responsible, like I was dirty.
They don't realize that it's a psychological and emotional and spiritual battle that you go through just to get to where you can manage getting through the day.
And that's what I feel that was taken from me. My virginity, my youth. You're never the same after that.
How could someone hurt me like this if I have any type of value? How could somebody do this to me and care about me in any way, shape, or form? I really must be nothing.
I felt like I didn't have any choices after that moment.
It gets annoying when it messes up and don't do that. What I'll do is I'll give y'all the link to where the video that link right here, where y'all can actually hear the video. And it tells about what how sex abuse makes you feel. With respect, when I was in Wheaton, Illinois, by West Chicago, there's Richard Speck. And y'all, you can go to that link, like I said, and there's honest conversations. You get to hear these different people talking about what they have went through. They have got training. They got a lot on their site. I really like this site. It's learning the facts is the first step to preventing child sexual abuse. And then they have download the full statistics PDF. So I guess I'm going to do that. Wow, child sexual abuse PDF. Wow, you can go there and download it for free. People don't realize, as it says in here, Matthews and Colin, but let's see, you got to scroll back up a little bit. Says, what is child sexual abuse? Child sexual abuse and assault, CSAA, is a complex problem that has impacted all nations. However, it has been difficult to come to a consensus on the proper definition of the issue. Darkness to Light, that's at .org, that organization has adopted the definition developed by Matthews and Colin Vezina in 2019, which also include the word assault to account for the offenses conducted by juvenile peer offenders. It should be included. I agree with that. Assault, abuse, any of it. Matthews and Colin Vizina in 2019 defines child sexual abuse as A. An act that involves a child defined by both legal age under 18 years and developmental capacity. B. Where the child is unable to give true consent or ability exists but consent not given. True consent requires full, free, voluntary, and uncoerced. Anytime you're coerced, that is not a full, free, voluntary participation. It's the same as rape. When you're an adult, it's the same as rape. And instead of a lot of people say that somebody was a child prostitute. No, it's not a child prostitute. You were child raped. They need to get those things straight because it was not the act of the child's willingness. It was something that was forced upon a child. And here's C. An act, whether contact or non contact, is considered sexual when it is done for the purpose of sexual gratification, immediate or deferred. D. An act where there is a power differential with victim in a position of inequality in which a vulnerability is exploited. And I'll stop after I read the next paragraph right here, and we can talk, and y'all can ask me any questions if you feel like you want to ask me any personal questions or whatever. I'll be glad to answer best of my ability. Okay. According to this website, it says, what is the magnitude of the problem? Child sexual abuse and assault is far more prevalent than most people realize. SCAA. I'm saying it backwards, y'all. I'm a little just number dyslexic. I guess I'm a little letter dyslexic at the moment. CSAA occurs in every community and across all ethnic, socioeconomic, and religious backgrounds. Actual prevalence of CSAA is likely to be underestimated by official reports. Finkel et al. 2013 has it. However, based on the data that is available, we know that 1 in 10 children experience CSAA nationally. Department of Health and Human Resources 2022, down in 2021. Okay. Now I get back in here where we can discuss if anybody has anything they would like to talk about. William or Cheryl or anybody, would y'all like to ask me a question or make a statement? What come? What a courageous mother coming out and giving her your testimonies. So I got part of the so positive. Is that what you're meaning? William knew me when I think right before I even did my first book. Am I right, William? And him and his family used to say, "You really came a long way." I was so scared to talk about it. My stepmom was still alive, and I was having so much backlash from my family. So what I had to do, I had to put these toxic people behind me and just say, "You're in my past now. You're not in my future, and I don't want you back in the future." Exactly. I think it's very important that we share our stories and get it out there because if we just remain silent, they win. They ain't gonna know the magnitude of a lot of this stuff that's happening, and a lot of people doubt what we say. Oh, that's okay. We bear with you as long as you can bear with me. That is, yeah. I look forward to meeting you and your husband, Cheryl, and maybe pretty soon we can have a support group like discussed and everything. And I know you're a strong lady. You deserve a lot of credit for being where you are, and I'm so proud that you got you a wonderful husband that supports you, and there for you, and an amazing son as well that took up his father's traits as well. And you're a wonderful lady yourself. Never forget to take time out for yourself and do some important things that you enjoy. Don't forget you deserve it. You ever notice that anytime that it's kind of hard to treat ourselves so good right away because a lot of times we still have that initial things like I cannot tell myself that I'm beautiful. I say that I look okay, and that's okay with me. Okay, I don't have, I don't want to. I'm not egotistical or whatever. And people said, "No, you really need to see yourself as beautiful." I said, "No, I don't either. That's just what you think I need to how to see myself. Okay, as long as I say that I'm okay. I'm okay. Just don't press that issue. Have you ever had to have that problem? Still here. I'm glad you're still here. Can you hear me? Wonder where that showed up at because it didn't show up on that or my text. It's like, okay, where did it show up? You are worthwhile. You are loved. You're cared about. You are valuable. Wouldn't it have been wonderful if we would have had this kind of thing when we were growing up to where we were protected? But the thing about it is, now we use what had happened to us and we help others. We don't say, woe is me or whatever. We say, well, thank you, God. Now I can understand what somebody else is going through and I can use it to the advantage to help others out as well. I want to thank you all for coming. And y'all know how to reach me. People that's in here right now know how to reach me. And I will say, God bless. Y'all have a wonderful day. And I hope to see y'all again soon and speak to y'all. Thank you. May God bless you.